Good evening, this is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kerba Avenue, and I am Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. On Monday, the Early Warning and Response Mechanism and the National Nutrition Bill 2024, which were presented by the Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, successfully passed their second reading at the National Assembly. The Gambia Immigration Department is hosting the 8th annual meeting of heads of immigration from ECOWAS member states, focusing on fostering cooperation and addressing migration challenges. The Inspector General of Police, Sidi Mukhtar Toure, revealed that for the first time, the Gambia Police Force has a state-of-the-art forensic lab to investigate crimes which will greatly help in prosecuting offenders. In international news, as the summit of the future opened at the UN headquarters in New York on Sunday, world leaders adopted a pact for the future that includes a global digital compact and a declaration on future generations. And in sports news, 10-man Gambia under-20 held Mali to a goalless draw at the Samuel Kado Sports Stadium in Monrovia in the ongoing WAFU A tournament. Those and other stories coming up. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. On Monday, the Early Warning and Response Mechanism and the National Nutrition Bill 2024, both of which had been presented by the Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, successfully passed their second reading at the National Assembly. In this report by Ansumana Isonyasi, we learned that NAMS have also begun examining the National Nutrition Bill 2023.
The two bills aim to tackle issues related to disaster and development. During the motion for the second reading of the Early Warning and Response Mechanism Bill 2024, Vice President Jallow emphasized that establishing an early warning system aligns with Chapter 4 of the 1999 ECOWAS Protocols on Sub-Regional Peace and Security. He stated that creating a legislative framework would strengthen its effectiveness.
Thus, the purpose of the bill is to make provision for the coordination of early warning and response mechanism in the Gambia and related matters. Further, it seeks to address challenges ranging from uncoordinated and fragmented mechanisms to non-existent legal and institutional frameworks for early warning and response.
Following that, NAMS discussed the merits and drawbacks of the bill. While many expressed concerns about its effectiveness once enacted, they all voiced their support, describing its introduction to Parliament as timely.
This particular National Early Warning and Response Mechanism, I think the board definitely, how do we also monitor their performance and the overall operation, which is very important.
We believe that some of those responses will make change to our decisions, change to governance, and also change to some of this framework that will help in refugee crisis, and also disease outbreak, transnational organized crimes, threats to human impacts. So therefore, I will solidly ask my fellow honorable members for us to pass this bill.
We depend so much on our environment for survival, but of course climate change is definitely having a lot of negative impact in this environment. But with the advent of legislation to look at issues that might happen in the future and to focus them and try to take prior actions, actions that are very cost effective, because that is one of the main principles of early warning. It has to be cost effective.
What are the key indicators that this government is going to put in place to make this strategy a very effective one? Honorable Speaker, also looking at role conflict between institutions in this country, what kind of coordination will the government put in place to make sure that this strategy is coordinated between institutions very well to avoid role clash and role conflict?
After their discussions, the bill was approved, successfully passing its second reading and moving on to Parliament's Business Committee for further examination before its final consideration at the third reading. Next on the agenda was the National Population Bill 2024, which aims to establish a legal framework that enhances institutional research on population and effectively addresses development issues to achieve demographic dividends through the National Population Institute. Honorable Jibin Balo, the National Assembly member for Fuladu West, voiced his support for the bill and urged fellow NAMs to overwhelmingly pass it, calling it crucial legislation that aligns with the Gambia's domestic and international commitments. Other NAMs also expressed their support, though a few raised concerns that were addressed by Vice President Jallow. The bill was ultimately considered and passed its second reading. Meanwhile, parliamentarians have begun reviewing the National Nutrition Bill 2023. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
The Gambia Immigration Department is hosting the 8th annual meeting of heads of immigration from ECOWAS member states from the 23rd to the 24th of September 2024. The forum themed Accelerating the Deployment of the ECOWAS National Biometric Identity Card and Abolishing the 90-day stay limit and resident permit for community citizens. It's focused on fostering cooperation and addressing migration challenges. Lena E. Igwenyiba reports.
Over recent decades, West Africa has faced serious migration challenges. These have ranged from migration caused by conflict to the sub-region becoming a hub for irregular migrants from across Africa hoping to get to Europe or America. The Gambia is hosting this gathering of heads of immigration from ECOWAS countries for the first time. The forum will discuss key issues such as the rollout of the ECOWAS National Biometric Identity Cards (NBIC) and the removal of the 90-day stay limit and resident permits for community citizens. Ibrahim Mboub, Director General of Gambia Immigration Department, highlights the significance of the meeting in enhancing regional mobility.
The Gambia Immigration Department, GID in brief, remains deeply committed to ensuring the domestication and enforcement of the ECOWAS free movement protocols, which serves as a foundation for the rights of ECOWAS citizens to move freely, reside, and establish where desired, sans frontières.
Kemi Nandab, Comptroller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service, explains the goals of the ECOWAS National Biometric Identity Card (NBIC) in facilitating easier movement across member states.
The ECOWAS National Biometric Identity Card, which has been proposed and is already operationally deployed in some member states in the region. This is envisaged to reduce the interface between the community citizens and law enforcement agencies, and also to reduce the abuse of migrants' rights. Free movement has been elevated to an ideal status, and it is our collective responsibility to strengthen the process of implementation for the benefit of community citizens.
Albert Boateng, Director of Free Movement of Persons and Migration, urges strong commitment to implementing the forum's recommendations.
Various member states are at different levels of implementation, but then what we need is the harmonization of what we all agree here, the decisions we make and we take. And also, this is what we use in escalating to the ministers in charge of immigration management or immigration services.
Representing the Minister of Interior, Babukar Boy, the Minister of Public Service, reaffirmed the Gambia's support for immigration initiatives.
I would like to reaffirm the government of the Gambia's unwavering commitment to supporting the Gambia Immigration Department in its mandate. We recognize that for the GID to fully comply with the ECOWAS protocols, it must be equipped with the necessary tools, infrastructure, and skilled personnel.
At the conclusion of the 2 days, these heads of immigration services will hope that their deliberations lead to addressing migration challenges in the region by delivering actions that are implemented and enforced. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Igwanyiba.
At a quarterly press briefing on Friday, the Inspector General of Police, Sidi Mukhtar Toure, revealed that for the first time, the Gambia Police Force has a state-of-the-art forensic lab for analyzing DNA samples and other forensic evidence gathered during crime investigations to help prosecute offenders. Lolem Kamara has the rest of that story.
This long-awaited facility is set to transform the country's criminal justice system by providing modern forensic services, including DNA testing, biological analysis, gathering and analyzing critical forensic evidence from crime scenes and identifying perpetrators of sexual assault, murder, and missing passing cases, amongst other benefits. The facility, equipped with the state-of-the-art technology, will serve the police department. Staff within the police have been trained and recruited, ensuring that the Gambia can build a sustainable forensic capability. IGP Sidi Mutar Toure elaborates on this development.
We are proud to report that Gambia Police Force Forensic Lab now have the capacity to collect and analyze forensic DNA samples. This development is groundbreaking because it is the first time in more than 100-year history of Gambia Police Force that we have such capacity. Introduction of these forensic tools will improve conviction rates and speed of resolution of criminal cases through due process.
IGP Toure further reiterates the GPF's commitment to standards of human security and its continued engagement with civil society organizations and development partners to foster trust and confidence between the police and communities. The absence of a forensic lab in the Gambia has forced authorities to rely on foreign labs for critical forensic evidence, a process that has often caused significant delays in criminal investigations and hindered justice. With the new forensic lab in operation, law enforcement officers can now conduct in-country analysis, improving the speed and accuracy of criminal investigations. ASP Habib Jain, a forensic officer, explains some of the procedures in this lab.
At the crime scenes, if it's handled properly, here we get the results. If it's not handled properly, we will not get the results here. And that also, which the PR also will help us, that we will also sensitize the community in terms of crime, that, let them not touch anything, let them not move anything, and then detect the sample comes. And now we have the emergency vehicles that could run that's operating 24 hours. Now when the sample is collected by the crime scene officers, that's the CSIs, when they reach the labs, we start by decontaminating it and then do the extractions of it. That's why we start the DNA profiling. And then now from henceforth, the Gambia will start DNA profiling. That means profiling the criminals by their DNA, and subsequently whenever they also do another crime or whenever their sample is found, we also can be trace that ones. Likewise also the paternity testing and then the sexual assault.
Forensic laboratories are essential to modern criminal justice systems, providing the scientific foundation for solving crimes, ensuring fair legal processes, and maintaining public trust. This forensic lab will enhance evidence credibility in court, reduce wrongful convictions, and aid police in solving complex cases like homicides, sexual assault, drug trafficking, among other crimes. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
That story by Loliam Kamara will take us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local, international, as well as sports news stories for you. Don't go away.
Ready to jumpstart your tech career? At IIHT Gambia Limited, we offer a variety of in-demand courses to equip you with essential skills for the tech industry. Our programs include Diploma in Information Technology and Cybersecurity, Cisco Certified Network Associate and Network Professional, Advanced Diploma in Software Development, Diploma in Multimedia, Graphic Design and Digital Marketing, Diploma in Database Administration and Technical Support. Whether you're starting your IT journey or looking to advance your career, our expert instructors and hands-on learning will prepare you for success. Don't wait. Enroll today and transform your future. Call us at 701968 or 3464161 or visit us at 55 Kairaba Avenue, adjacent to the U.S. Embassy, Fajara, Kanifing Municipality. Learn more at www.ihtgambia.gm. IIHT Gambia Limited, connecting talent to opportunity.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertil Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News. Now, Professor Per Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, who is temporarily overseeing the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, on Monday launched the distribution of the textbooks produced for Gambian senior secondary schools. Mumudu Gajaga was at the launch and he now reports.
For the first time in the Gambia, textbooks authored and produced by Gambian writers, specifically designed for senior secondary schools curriculum, will be implemented in secondary schools across the country. Professor Per Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, have inspected the textbooks at the printers. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation, GPPC, describes it as a big achievement.
The initiative led to the collaboration of key stakeholders such as the Conference of Principals, CRED, Writers Association, Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation, and the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to work together to ensure that the books to be written are of high quality, both in terms of content and the physical materials to enhance quality education and accessibility at the same time.
Introducing textbooks written by local authors can enhance the relevance of the material, ensuring it reflects the country's culture, history, and context. This move not only supports the education system, but also promotes Gambian writers and encourages a more inclusive and representative curriculum. Minister Gomez says the textbooks are expected to transform the education sector by producing quality.
Next year, it will be 60 years. 60 years of independence, but 6 years of a vacuum. That lacuna needed to be fixed before we celebrate 60 years of independence. It must be meaningful, it must be useful. We cannot continue to having senior secondary schools using books that are not produced by our own people. What was the essence of our independence if we cannot write our own story?
The textbooks will be delivered to the various schools through regional education officers. Minister Gomez urged beneficiaries to embrace a reading culture in schools to ensure quality education.
Now the problem will be, and the Gambia government is going to create more problems for some of you, because the problem is to read. For those who do not want to read, the Gambia government is saying, on behalf of the Republic, we invite you to read. Read and liberate yourself. Read and get the knowledge. Read and be part of those builders of this nation. We have a nation to build. And we cannot do that without getting the right manpower.
Minister Gomez commended the Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation, GPPC, for their role in printing the textbooks. He also urged the public to support GPPC in their effort to provide quality, locally produced services. Mumudu Gajaga, QTV News.
From local, let's now take a look at international news stories in a moment. As the Summit of the Future opened at the UN headquarters New York on Sunday, world leaders adopted a pact for the future that includes a global digital compact and a declaration on future generations. Usman Jatta monitored the summit online and he tells us more.
The United Nations Summit of the Future is a once-in-a-generation opportunity which seeks to enhance the multilateral system and drive humanity on a new course to meet existing commitments and solve long-term challenges. 70 decades since the founding of the UN, world leaders converged to design the latest global pact for the future. Here is the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres.
I called for this summit because our world is heading off the rails and we need tough decisions to get back on track. Conflicts are raging and multiplying, from the Middle East to Ukraine and Sudan with no end in sight. Our collective security system is threatened by geopolitical divides, nuclear posturing, and the development of new weapons and theaters of war.
International peace and security were at the forefront of discussions, with the conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza taking center stage. World leaders committed to enhancing international stability and security, emphasizing the importance of resolving conflicts through peaceful means. Concerns were also voiced about ongoing inequalities both within and between countries, alongside the slow progress in enhancing the lives and livelihoods of people. Here are Nana Akufo-Addo, President of Ghana, and Julius Maada Bio, President of Sierra Leone, respectively.
This summit represents an important moment for reflection, collective action, and renewed commitment to building a sustainable, just, and equitable future.
The climate crisis, inequality, pandemics, terrorism, and violent extremism, these are not local problems. They are global and demand global solutions.
The pact encompasses a wide array of themes, including peace and security, sustainable development, climate change, digital cooperation, human rights, gender equality, youth involvement, and future generations. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa of Tanzania highlighted his country's commitment to the success of this new global initiative.
Looking ahead, United Republic of Tanzania believes that global and regional partnership are vital for achieving our shared goals. No action and no nation can tackle global issues alone. Therefore, multilateral cooperation is critical.
The new Global Pact for the Future underscores renewed commitments to eradicate all forms of poverty, promote universal health coverage, and uphold human rights, ensure access to affordable housing, and tackle water scarcity while providing safe drinking water. The UN has pledged to implement and monitor these commitments by utilizing science, data, and strategic foresight to foster long-term thinking and planning. Usman Jatta, reporting for QTV News.
From international, let's now take a look at sports news. Ten-man Gambia under-20 held Mali to a goalless draw at the Samuel Kayondo Sports Stadium in Monrovia in the ongoing Wafu A tournament. Amadou Tamba has been following the tournament, and this is his report.
The draw takes coach Abdoulaye Bojang's team to the semi-finals. Gambia went into the contest needed either a win or a draw to qualify, whilst Mali that only a win would be good enough to take them through. Both teams started well, displaying good attacking football. Mali gained the numerical advantage in the 26th minute when the young Scorpions right back Aliou Mane was sent off following a second yellow card. The young Scorpions had to reshuffle and stayed compact as they defended very well, making life difficult for the Malians. Scorpions goalkeeper and captain Nuha Sanyang pulled off some fine saves to keep the Malians from registering a goal, and Gambia could have won the game in the 6 minutes of stoppage time when striker Lamin Silla beat the Malian defense for pace. Went clean on goal, but saw his effort saved by the Malian goalkeeper. After the withdrawal of Mauritania, the group only had 3 teams, and the goalless draw took the Gambia to the semi-final, finishing second with 2 points, 2 goals scored and 2 goals conceded, 2 points behind group leader Senegal. The Young Scorpions will now take on Sierra Leone in the semi-final on Wednesday, September the 25th, 2024 at the Samuel Canyon Dole Sports Complex. Sierra Leone, having finished top of Group A, this tournament serves as a qualifier to the Under-20 AFCON, and the finalists will represent WAFU A zone in the CAF Total Energies Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, a tournament where Gambia finished as runners-up in March 2023 in Cairo, Egypt. For QTV News, Amadou Tamba.
I'm afraid that's all we have for you in this news bulletin, but before we go, a recap of our main news headlines. On Monday, the Early Warning and Response Mechanism and the National Nutrition Bill 2024, which were presented by the Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, successfully passed their second reading at the National Assembly. The Gambia Immigration Department is hosting the 8th annual meeting of the heads of immigration from ECOWAS member states, focusing on fostering cooperation and addressing migration challenges. The Inspector General of Police, Sedi Mukhtar Toure, revealed that for the first time, the Gambia Police Force has a state-of-the-art forensic lab to investigate crimes, which will greatly help in prosecuting offenders. In international news, as the summit of the future opened at the UN headquarters in New York on Sunday, world leaders adopted a pact for the future that includes a global digital compact and a declaration on future generations. And in sports news, Stanman Gambia Under-20 held Mali to a goalless draw at the Samuel Kado Sports Stadium in Monrovia in the ongoing WAFU A tournament to progress to the semi-finals. Well, that's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for more news. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your evening.